Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast, and today we're going to talk about Hustler Casino Live. Now, Hustler Casino Live is a live streaming poker game. They stream pretty often. I watch them a lot. It's one of the best online poker streams out there. They compete with like Live at the Bike and like TCL Poker and Live at the Lodge, stuff like that. I mainly watch Hustle Casino Live just because the production value is top notch. I think it's ran by like Ryan Feldman and Nick Vitucci. Those are the guys behind it. And they partnered up with a Hustle Casino based out in California. And on Hustle Casino, they got a guy named Garrett Alderstein. Now, Garrett is one of the best cash game players out there. He's really good on these live streams. He's often a regular on Hustler Casino Live for their high stakes games that they tend to live stream throughout the week. And yeah, I mean, he's really good. I mean, he's racked up over $1 million in winnings. A top player, solid player. I've watched him a few times. You know, he knows when to fold, he knows when to raise. Solid player. He is definitely a definition of a true poker cash player. I'm a big fan of him. I like him a lot. Now, oftentimes, Hustler will bring in new guests to their live games. Sometimes these guys we don't know about, and they'll come through and they'll make a name of themselves, especially if they play really well. They'll bring them back every now and then. Well, last week, they had this player called Robbie. Her name's like Robbie Lou. They brought her in a couple times during the week, and then on Thursday they brought her in for their cash games. And of course, Garrett is there. I think Phil Ivey's there. Some other players that they bring in on the stream that usually play the top cash games were there. And you know, there was an interesting hand that took place, and I want you guys to check this out.
We'll go to the river. The river is a 9.
That one's you for sure.
They're gonna run it twice,
I
and
don't think so.
she's gonna.
Small pair.
Yeah, she's a 3 in the king. You give me that much credit?
I don't know.
Haven't you seen what I've
She's
done?
good with the first one.
Let's
Turn him over. You're already
not that. Oh. No.
If the cards are correct.
It's already there.
What a sick call.
What a sick call.
And the river bricks out again.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
I want to see. Does she have Jack 4?
She had 4 jackpot.
What?
Whoa!
Look at
Whoa!
What the fuck?
Whoa, look at Garrett's face.
That's some fucking poker right there.
That was sick.
Wow. That's strong.
That was sick.
Oh shit.
That is super strange. You can see his reaction. Like, what?
Ma'am?
What?
Very nice to be
You fucking stupid.
Jacob, you look like you want to kill me. I mean, not Jacob. I mean, like, you look like you want to kill me,
He
Jacob.
wants to vomit.
I was not in the hand. I want to vomit.
Wow.
I'm speechless. I mean, usually Garrett would be fairly congratulatory.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into the technicals of poker per se, but basically what happened is, you know, she's a new player, and Garrett tends to he likes to re-raise big. You know, sometimes he'll 3-bet big based on the pot size, and you know, he'll make his calculations, and usually in these spots with these kind of raises with the kind of hand that she had, it is a definite fold. I mean, you know, there's 2 10s out there, there's a 9, there's a 3. Nothing that statistically shows that she should nothing. Her hand really should not be played in this spot. It's definitely a fold. No showdown value whatsoever. And you know, when I saw this sequence live taking place, I just thought it was very bizarre. Garrett's bet wasn't too bizarre because that's Garrett's style. Garrett, you know, he plays consistently. You know, 8-7 of clubs, you know, suited and jamming in that spot pretty much to put her all in. You know, if I'm the opposing player, I'm thinking, okay, he has a draw to a straight. He might have a 10. You know, he definitely paired up, or he might have a big pocket pair. You know, and you know, playing Jack 4 offsuit, usually you wouldn't play that. Now, what all the fuss is about is the fact that she actually makes the call. she kind of plays around a little bit, like should she call, should she, and it's kind of messing with Garrett. But she actually calls, and they run it twice. Now, running it twice is not really a thing usually in poker, but on Hustler Casino, that is a common thing that they do, is that they run the card twice or run the river twice. So they run the river twice. She wins this massive pot, and Garrett looks stunned because Garrett, he's glitching out. Garrett is a pro. He's a cash player, and he's doing the math in his head, and he's like, this whole situation does not compute. And he immediately, in his mind is thinking like, this is just off. So what you don't see, and you can definitely catch a live stream on Hustler Casino Live's YouTube channel from the Thursday stream. But they go off camera after the hand. They go off camera. There's a whole big commotion. They got the producer Ryan Feldman of Hustler Casino to come down. They're talking, and eventually she gives the money back to him. And then Garrett, it got a little testy. Another player was calling Garrett, all kinds of expletives. Garrett peacefully gets his chips and he leaves. And the internet goes crazy. The poker community goes crazy. And it's all now there's we have all these internet detectives wondering if Robbie cheated, and who makes that kind of call. And that's the thing, right? Is that in those situations with a hand like Robbie's, the poker community is torn, because usually the percentage of calling with that hand doesn't make any sense. She after her explanation was like, oh, I thought she had ace high, and Garrett's like, well, if you thought I had ace high, why would you call with jack 4? Basically, it made no sense. And the community's torn, basically. Did she cheat? They're talking about potential vibrating devices, jewelry she's wearing. Hustler Casino is definitely going to do a full investigation, as they should. Any kind of claims against a high production show like theirs, and any time that they want to have any kind of credibility going forward, especially as they're competing with other live stream poker YouTube channels, they definitely want to clear that up. So I just find it very interesting that what's going to come of this, because Garrett took a very strong stance on his Twitter, talking about, cheating and, how he felt he was cheated. I don't think he has any proof. And I can totally feel why he would be cheated, because the math doesn't make any sense on his end. And it's like, no way in hell would someone call a massive 3-bet into, with a pot of almost $270,000. And if she's not cheating, it is odd that why would someone make a call? I get everybody has different poker styles. The way I play compared to how someone else plays is totally different. But it just seemed very unorthodox for her to make that call. And Hustler Casino is going to have to, going forward, decide like, hey, should we get people who are a little more experienced to play against some of these high stake players on our show? Because this is not the first time this is not going to be the last time this is going to happen. This will happen again. Now I'm not going to say that, we don't know for sure if Robbie was cheating or not. She does deserve to have the benefit of doubt. Maybe she just made an outlandish call playing. She said she was playing against Garrett, and that is a strategy, playing against the person, knowing that, he likes to make these big bets. But making that kind of call when you just started playing these high stake games, that's to say the least is very suspect, right? But in her own right, she could be a really good player. This is a fine line. Nobody knows anything. Information is still coming out, but I'm a big poker player myself personally. I love poker. I watch a lot of these live streams, and I just thought I'd cover it. And I like Garrett, and I think Garrett handled himself well. I think both parties handled themselves well. So now I don't know, based on the back and forth on the Twitter and some of their appearances on these other poker coverage streams. I don't know now. Seems like litigation might get involved. We don't know, because she did get the money back. She said she felt she shouldn't have won the hand, and she's saying she felt pressured, but the producers of the show saying like, no, we're down there, and he didn't encourage it. He just simply said, hey, you guys handle it. But yeah, Hustler, it looks like this is a win for Hustler. This is tremendous for Hustler. They're gonna once they get through this storm, it's definitely gonna boost their profile a lot. It's made national news. I've seen this on a couple news outlets and stuff like that. But this is definitely good publicity for Hustler. And once they get through this, and as for Garrett, is good or bad for him? Who knows? Garrett's gonna now. Garrett was beloved on Hustler Live Casino. People like Garrett. Now it seems like the community's torn on him, and we don't know where the fans are gonna lie with him in that regard. You know, they may not like him now because they felt like he was weak for you know, pretty much accepting the money back. But you know, I think once all this blows over, I think Robbie's profile will boost. I think Garrett's profile will boost, and I think they'll definitely be back on the show playing. Not right away, probably not in a few months, but you know, probably a little longer than that. But yeah. So, anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and I'm out.